All right, we back. We are gonna watch the homie Darwin Ding's channel. If you don't know, Darwin Ding, God. How do I set up Darwin? Darwin's like your favorite Melee content creator's favorite Melee content creator. Like, this dude seriously puts out some of the sickest videos I've ever seen. The way he talks about Melee is awesome. He also has a conscious effort to make his videos short, which we do the opposite. We're like, fuck it, 25 minutes, we can do it. And, you know, to be honest, to give you the full details, that is definitely partial because of just YouTube's algorithm and the way that YouTube works. Like, a video that's 20 minutes long works a lot better than a video that's not. And also, you can put a lot more ads. Hate to say it, but that, you know, making money off a video is part of the gist here on YouTube. And if, for instance, if your video is under 8 minutes, that basically limits you to not have pre-roll ads. But, you know, we try to, like, pack. There's never a video where we try to make longer just to make it 25 minutes. But that said, I gotta applaud the people who consciously make an effort trying to make their content just, like, easy to digest and just accessible as hell. And I think Darwin just nails that. So if you haven't seen a Darwin Ding video, you're in for a treat, because this dude makes fucking fire content. Also from New England, you know, so absolutely got to shout out any homie from New England. But I'd be shouting out this dude's videos even if it wasn't. So yeah, that said, we're gonna watch the curious concept of playing poorly.
You took a random person off the street and asked them to draw what they think the relationship between the
Also, I love his voice.
skill of a competitor and the time they put in was. I bet they draw something like this. It'd be mostly linear, with the slope being something talent, with these periods of no improvement when we're taking breaks from the game. And yet, if you asked anyone who competes to draw the same graph, it would probably look something like this. The life of a competitor is not.
God, Darwin, let me hire you, dude. Like, you can straight up make our videos. God, oh, he's so good.
It'd be mostly linear, with the slope being something talent, with these periods of no improvement when we're taking breaks from the game. And yet, if you asked anyone who competes to draw the same graph, it would probably look something like this. The life of a competitor is not so clean. There are periods where I've remembered improving with leaps and bounds, where everything has felt fun and exciting, and I felt myself cruising around obstacles.
And you feel so good at that moment when you're like, oh my God, I'm suddenly, you know, previously I was going 0-2, 1-2, and now I'm going like 2-2 or like 3-2 at the major. And like, there's this crazy feeling of like, am I good at this game? And then you just get fucking ruined by someone. And you're like, oh no, dude, I'm actually so bad at Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube.
Nothing could stop me. And then there have been periods where I've looked back on the last few months of play and I've been like, honestly, did I get any better? It feels like as a competitor, skill never really fits neatly into these nice
Darwin, God, your videos are so good.
Linear buckets. It looks more like jagged, crazy.
I'm such a fanboy. I've like literally never watched someone's videos who I feel this way about. I like literally, like, to say it bluntly, like, I feel like he's doing like sort of the concept that we do about talking about Melee in this sort of like abstract way. Just fucking nailing it. So yeah, Darwin Ding killing it. Again, we're watching the curious concept of playing poorly by Darwin Ding.
Curves that are really hard to predict and manage.
What up, dog?
Consistency is this wild problem that affects every competitor across every discipline I've ever had a passing interest in. I've never heard a more common complaint than
this set was crazy. I watched this IRL, and I think after Magi took game 1, like I was super far away. I was like literally like the full venue away from the set, and then someone came up to me and told me, yo, Magi just beat Mango game 1. And then like you could feel everyone start to watch this set. Obviously the crowd doesn't paint the realistic picture, but like there was everyone in the crowd, and then there was everyone behind the crowd, and then it became so big that everyone behind the crowd started going in front of the other crowd. Yeah, dude, it was honestly insane. And then you could also feel like the people who were watching Ultimate just like watching this set instead. This was such a moment. God, this set was so cool. Genesis 6, I think this was one of the last majors I've been to, honestly. It's been a minute. But yeah, the feeling of like just everyone telling everyone who was at the Melee friendly setups, which was a decent bit away from this, which everyone was telling everyone, just like, Magi just beat Mango game 1. Like, and then it was like, Magi might beat Mango. I think it was Aiden. I think Aiden told me, like, drunk and hysterical, just like, I think Magi's gonna beat Mango. And then like, dude, you just felt everyone unplug and leave the setups and go watch the set. This was such a fucking moment.
Then I'm just playing bad today. I play super well in friendlies, but I can't seem to make it work in tournament.
I don't understand why I can't hit these ledge dashes today. I was doing it just fine yesterday.
I think people who don't compete regularly don't really understand how difficult it is to be an incredibly consistent player. And just assume that it comes easily.
For real, dude. Like, all of these people, their worst game is like hundreds % better than your best game. Like, that's the fucking most wild part. I remember playing KJH and just like feeling like why do I have a chance right now? And it's like, oh, well, maybe he's playing at like 10% in this money match right now, but I am still getting fucking rocked beyond my belief. Yeah, just like the feeling of a top player's like worst is sometimes like just as overwhelming as like your #1 player in your region's like just consistent level. Yeah, that was a wild feeling.
With a bit of time, instead of being a defining standout feature of some of the greatest players that have ever.
Oh, fuck yeah, you're the dude with the box. Fuck yeah, your story's sick. We absolutely. I'm happy that Sean was able to highlight that story because that was super cool.
Lived. But every time
shout out to you. Keep coming to NGP whenever you have the ability to. Yeah, the first one was sick. Hopefully we can continue to make it as dope every time.
I enter a tournament, it feels like I'm opening a crazy bag of worms. Sometimes I'm over-caffeinated, sometimes I'm under-caffeinated, sometimes I'm really warmed up, and sometimes I'm playing with cold hands against a character I have very little matchup experience against. I've talked about this on the channel before, but it is really, really demotivating to not be able to get consistent, high-quality feedback for these endeavors that take so much of our time and mental energy. The idea that we
God, I just love Darwin Ding's content. Just like unironically. God, there's truly no one that makes me feel the way that he does. Yeah, I think he just nails all the check marks that I want someone to hit with melee content.
We can be practicing, grinding, and learning, and our results can still resemble a slot machine with no rhyme or reason. It's frankly frustrating. And yet, it's not as if tournament results don't matter. In fact, whenever I talk to veterans, they're always talking about how one of the most consistent themes of players who improve rapidly is regularly attending events and playing tons and tons of serious matches, weekly and even sometimes more frequently than that. And so even with all these wildly jagged lines, it seems like the optimal strategy isn't to wait until we're feeling like all the stars are aligning, but even to aggressively play serious matches in these more mess up states where we're not feeling up to par. So what's the deal here? I think we need to
Have you ever heard someone in the melee content sphere talking about this thing that fucking so exists in every single person? Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Visit these models, and in particular, the simple.
I'm such a fanboy. I'm such a fanboy. Fun fact: Darwin Ding definitely hit us up like very early into his melee career, and we had a lot of long talks. Darwin, if you're watching this, I'd love to continue those talks because yeah, as much as I felt like I was giving you some sort of knowledge. Just the stuff that he does is inspirational, to be blunt.
The idea that we have this one-dimensional skill axis. Skill is not this simple concept that just goes up and down and perfectly summarizes all that a player is. If we really wanted to quantify what makes a player skilled, we would probably start with the large buckets, punish and neutral. I guess we can throw in recovering and edge guarding too. And each of these become different for each character we play against. And these are usually stage dependent and are even affected by percent ranges and where we are on stage. And suddenly the simple.
This is so cool to like put the video from the perspective of your notebook. Yeah, wow. Like I would have went through fucking so many different programs in order to try to like present this through like Adobe or like whatever Premiere or whatever editing software I'm using just to like put it on the screen. But yeah, just have the idea like, oh, what if I just like filmed myself writing in a notebook? Great idea.
Concept of skill has turned into a branching hyperdimensional beast. If we have two fox mains, one of which is really good at reaction tech chasing space animals, but has no idea how to play against floaties, versus a patient fox who seems to really understand slower matchups but gets run over by foxes and falcons, which player has more skill?
What do you guys think? Let's run it back.
Beast. If we have two fox mains, one of which is really good at reaction tech chasing space animals, but has no idea how to play against floaties, versus a patient fox who seems to really understand slower matchups but gets run over by foxes and falcons. Which player has more skill?
Let me know. What do you guys think? If you're in the ALLSTON Melee VODs channel right now, drop a comment. God, we need it. Shout out the VOD channel. I'm gonna say that in a lot of, I mean, I think his point is gonna be that they're both like equal level, but they both have different skills. But if I was to strictly pick one of these players, I think it would be the more patient person. Because I like the amount of times that you hear a Fox player complaining about like, oh, I played this super patient Fox, or a Falco player complaining about that. I think that skill is just more tangible to most of the matchups. Because if you just have the wherewithal that I am playing to win and I'm not necessarily playing to do the coolest shit possible, you're probably going to win more tournament matches. But Darwin Ding, what do you have to say?
This is just such a hard question to answer,
I
and
agree.
yet every
Totally agree.
competitive community I'm a part of is forced to take a stab at answering this with some sort of hardened numerical system.
Oh, you just fucking proved my
We have
point.
rankings and tournament results. Other games have ELO and MMR systems.
Yep.
But even this formula, with an insane number of axes on which to measure competitors, isn't enough when we start taking into
That's super true, Liam. Yeah, it also depends on like what your region is more popular of. For a long time, there was a running bit that New England is just floaties, and we just had the top floaty players, and that Crush was so good against all these floaty players. But we quickly learned that Crush was not just good against floaties; he was really good at the game. So I don't know. Maybe you know, having to play against all these floaties helped him, but maybe he was just really good at the game.
account literally anything that happens out of game. Players don't remain constant. They have good days and bad days.
Totally
if I were
true.
to draw out a complete breakdown of my skill on an average day, it would look wildly differently from when I have cold hands and didn't manage to get any sleep last night. But of course, good day and
Shout out to the Pokemon Berry Contest in Gen 3. That is exactly what the graph he just drew reminded me of. I used to fucking play the berry game constantly, trying to get the max berries. Just 'cause I thought the game was so fun, just getting the timing right. I'm gonna just stream myself playing the berry game in Pokemon Sapphire sometime.
bad day aren't concrete concepts and exist wholly on a spectrum. How do I play with 9 hours of sleep? What about 10?
God, he's so smart to be able to just like put this on a whiteboard and film himself doing this. Let me hire you, Darwin.
What about 8 hours and
buy you,
59
dude?
minutes and 58 seconds? Skill is actually this three-dimensional monstrosity that is overwhelmingly complicated. We can decompose the games we play into these nuanced mini-games that we can each play at varying levels of competence. And then there is this third axis that we often forget about, which is simply how we're feeling and playing that day.
Totally.
I think one thing I've really started to internalize over the course of losing infinity tournament sets of Smash is that we often think of ourselves
All right, Infinity Tournament sets, please go subscribe to Darwin Ding right now. Here, ready? I'm gonna post this thing. Please hit the subscribe button on this dude's channel. This dude is wildly underrated. He currently has 764 subs, so you can be part of the first 1,000 subs and be like, when this dude has fucking 100k subs, you can be like, oh wow, I was part of the first 1k of this dude who put on the melee scene. Because this dude is popping the fuck off pretty soon.
as a monolith. I have good tech skill. I have a good punish game. I am good versus Marth. And this simple sounding word I is this oversimplified summary of a bajillion possible mental and physical states we could be in when we sit down to play a tournament set. It's one thing to be able to hit our tech when we're in a totally calm state of mind, sitting by ourselves with lo-fi music playing in the background with 100 attempts to get it right, and another entirely to hit our tech when we're stressed. Because
Oh, look it's Darwin Ding versus Webpipe. Webpipe is the homie. I've talked to him a few times. That dude's super fucking cool.
Grizzly Bear just broke into the venue and has just mauled to death all of the top players. Part of being a serious
Webwipe. I said his tag wrong. I'm a fake fan.
competitor is not only acknowledging that I won't be playing the same way every day, but even embracing it and actively playing and measuring myself even when I'm not feeling
Oh, that fair hurts to
the same way
see.
every day.
I forgot
but
how
even
this
embracing
ended.
it and actively
Oh, did he get grabbed because of the Pokemon? Because he didn't realize that the platform is coming up?
is not only acknowledging that I won't be
Would he have actually
playing the same
fared?
way every day, but even embracing it and
I
actively
don't think so. He got jabbed. I don't think
playing
so.
and measuring myself even when I'm not feeling that great. Because the moments where I'm playing like utter doo-doo are these unique opportunities to improve a part of my skill that I wouldn't be able to do solo in my apartment on unranked.
Totally.
Hyper-consistent players like
Totally.
Armada have bad days too, but his skill is just so incredible across the board that even on these bad days,
Shout out this dude. This dude who was holding the crowd back. I was fucking wildly drunk in this crowd. Yeah, I was like literally like blackout drunk in this crowd, but possibly one of the most drunk I've ever been. And Matt's there. We can see Matt right here. So I think I'm right next to him.
bad days too. But it's
Yeah, that's me. That's me right here. That's me. Yeah, I just took a seat in the front crowd.
skill is just
Yeah, fuck yeah, Patty with the pop
on
pop.
unranked. Hyper consistent players like
have not
Armada have
seen
bad
this.
days too. But his
Yes, that's literally me.
is just
Yes.
so incredible across the board that even on these bad days, Armada have bad days too. But his skill is just so incredible across the board that
That's
even on these
so
bad
funny.
days, it's
I'm like, yes, yes.
incredibly hard to notice. So when we say things like, I'm playing poorly today, I think we should take a step back and think about what this actually implies.
Yeah, top 8 of that tournament ended, and I stood up and said, all right, when does top 8 start? I was on a different vibe that day.
Poorly means that we're playing worse than the perceived expectation, a normal state of play that we're comparing ourselves to. But I think this is an issue with framing, because sure, maybe yesterday I was playing hot and hitting.
No, Matt did not have to pull me back, but there are clips. I like went through that top 8 after, and there are clips of me like literally sleeping on Ryan during the top 8. They like cut to the crowd, and it's like I think it's an H box set, and it's literally me sleeping on Ryan, and then Ryan's like mad because I think Mango just lost, and he like pushes me off because he's mad, and then I think we went and got more alcohol, and I don't think I returned after that.
all my combos, and today I didn't get
There's just some times where I was like, I don't know, this is the time. I haven't got this drunk ever in my life. Let's do it in top 8.
much sleep, I'm feeling groggy and missing literally
I don't suggest doing that. That is a poor decision. If you're going to a major, don't go to a major to drink alcohol. A major is to have fun. That's my suggestion.
every input. It's not that I've just magically gotten worse overnight, it's literally that I'm being measured on another aspect of my skill. So I should try not to get frustrated and embrace this. Because maybe down the line I'll have another tournament where I'm feeling hella sleepy, and working hard and trying my best now will still pay dividends down the line. Thanks for watching.
Darwin Ding, great videos. Great videos. Again, if you haven't done so already, please go and hit the subscribe button on Darwin Ding's channel. Yeah, this dude's probably my favorite Melee content creator.